We live in a world that can feel overwhelming. News feeds flood us with crises day in, day out. It's relentless. And the rise of social media has made it so in our faces. Climate change, burnout, inequality, wars, lost culture, disconnection, it is relentless. And when we're faced with all that, it's natural to think, who am I? I'm just one person. How can I make a difference? And that thought is a sneaky thief of hope. And it's so easy to lose hope. And it convinces us that our actions don't matter. So why bother trying at all? Last week, as I record this, Jane Goodall died. And she had a piece of wisdom that flipped the script for me in such a big way. And she talks about the jigsaw of hope. Jane said, I like to envision the world whole as a jigsaw. If you look at the whole picture, it's overwhelming and it's terrifying. But if you work on your little part of the jigsaw and know that people all over the world are working on their little bits, that's what will give you hope. And I went, wow, that's a bloody cool reframe. So I got that me doing my piece. I know there are other people over the world helping to do their pieces, and our little piece counts. It really does. So Jane reminded me of something so important. It doesn't matter who you are and where you are in the world when you're listening to this. No one person is responsible for the whole picture. They're just not. She wasn't. She was part of the picture. However, without your piece, the puzzle remains incomplete. And it isn't about minimizing problems. It's about remembering the scale. We are meant to act locally, intentionally, in our sphere of influence. And when we do, change multiplies around the world. Change multiplies around the world. What's your piece? For me, my piece is helping women in midlife. I've seen too many incredible women lose themselves to exhaustion, invisibility, and the endless demands of giving. They're brilliant and they're burned out, they're wise, and they also feel like they're being silenced. So my work through coaching, writing, speaking, making documentaries about older women who surf, all those things that I get up to, is one way to help them reclaim their energy, their voice, and their strength. One conversation, one workshop, one woman at a time. Even this podcast. Earlier in the year, and I've talked about it in the podcast, that earlier in the year, I started to lose hope because I saw women's rights being scaled back so much. And I've been fighting for LGBTIQ plus rights since I got kicked out of the army, at 20, and been fighting for women's rights the same length of time. And I thought, fuck, I've been fighting for decades. How can we be going backwards? And I lost hope. I really did. I started to lose hope and went and talked it through with my wife Alice, and went, I can't not fight. I can't. I can't fix this on my own, and I'm going to go down fighting. I'm going to do my piece of the puzzle. And so it mightn't look like I do much on the world stage with what I do, because I'm not leading a government or steering $1 billion corporation. But when one woman rises strong, she changes her family, her workplace, and her community. And when enough women rise strong together, that becomes unstoppable. That's my puzzle piece. And so the reality is your puzzle piece, it's not going to look like mine probably, or it might, but you'll bring your flavor onto it. Your piece might be raising kids who grow up to be compassionate leaders. Your piece may be building a business that puts people and the planet ahead of profit. Your piece might be to use the courage to speak up for what's right, even when your voice shakes. Your piece might be simply just listening deeply when someone you love is struggling. None of those are small. They're all the building blocks to the bigger picture, and every act of integrity, every moment of kindness, and every choice to stand for something, it all counts. They're all vital parts of the puzzle. The reason so many of us doubt our impact is because we're looking sideways. We compare our puzzle piece to someone else's and we decide, oh, mine's not important enough. We see the world leaders and the global activists and the best-selling authors and think, wow, what I do doesn't even matter compared to that. The truth is, the puzzle doesn't get finished without your piece. You can't swap it out for someone else's, no matter how big or small it seems. Everyone's contribution is irreplaceable. When we dismiss our piece, the whole picture suffers. So think about the ripple effect. Maybe you mentor one person at work. That person grows in confidence and later leads a team of 50. Or maybe you plant a seed of sustainability in your business. That seed inspires others to copy it, and suddenly your whole industry starts shifting. Maybe you model courage to your kids. One day they stand up for someone who can't stand up for themselves. That's how change happens. It's not a giant, massive leap, but it's in thousands of small ripples multiplying around the globe. I was talking to one of my coaching clients this morning who she realized that she's been beige for a long time. And I get it. And she's starting to use her voice. And some people aren't comfortable with that. And then she went and bought herself a new car. And when in the past she'd buy sensible car, color, all those things, she's gone and bought a car that it's actually the only one car in all of New Zealand that is that color. And it stands out. And at first she was really uncomfortable with it. However, she called it a bumblebee. And now everyone, like people look out for the bumblebee. And it's a friend of hers was talking to her and said on the weekend, do you know what? I want to get a new car, but I want to get like a color, that's bright and fun and alive like yours. And I went, you're an influencer. You are influencing this woman in such a cool way. That's a piece of puzzle. She's lifting her up, this other woman, to see what else is possible out there instead of being beige. Jane Goodall, that jigsaw puzzle metaphor, does something even more important, I think, than motivating us. It gives us hope because when we're in, just when we're struggling, so often when we're struggling, we're right at the point of breakthrough. And it's uncomfortable. It's really unfamiliar. It's really uncomfortable. However, what I know is that if we just keep moving, we eventually get the breakthrough and the unfamiliar becomes familiar. Okay. So when I'm working on things, and I've got such a great visual now for it from Jane. Imagine me learning that from her when she's passed. Oh my God, huge. I don't want to cry thinking about it. It helped me get that I'm not the only one working on the puzzle. And in doing that, the weight lifted off my shoulders. I have felt such a responsibility and heaviness around helping women, helping to get through this. I really did. It's been really heavy for me. I get now that me helping other women helps them help other women, and the ripples grow. And we get to know that there's people everywhere in different countries and industries and communities. They're all working on their piece too. And so are you. So you're not alone. You're not alone. And that connection, even if you can't see it, I promise it's happening. And that's what helps to keep despair at bay. So if you're being challenged at the moment, like me, thinking, what the fuck is the world doing? Keep doing your piece. And it's not naive, it's necessary. And it's the fuel to give us the next action to do, the next action to do, and the next action to do. So when the world feels too heavy, ask yourself, what's the piece in front of me right now that I can do? What's within my power, my influence, my heart that I can do? Where can I choose action over overwhelm? It might look small in the moment. Zoom out, and you'll see the puzzle needs you. We don't get to finish the whole picture alone. And together, piece by piece, we can bring change to this world. Whether it's, I think so often of the grandkids and the grandkids' kids, generations to come, what's the world going to be like? If I don't do my piece of the puzzle now, I don't want to think about yet what their world's going to be like. It's worth it. And every little piece counts. Together, piece by piece, we can do this. So next time you hear that little voice say, who am I? Just one person to do whatever it is. Remember that you're the only one who can bring your piece of the jigsaw puzzle. You're the only one. I can't do your piece. You can't do my piece. And the world doesn't get complete without your piece. So think about it. What's the piece of the puzzle you're working on right now? I'd love to just tell me in the comments. I'd really love to know. And know that we are all in this together. and all of our pieces count.